control turned on as I'm coasting. Never speak on it, put the plan in forward motion. Make adjustments on the fly, you would think I'm coaching. Stick to the plan, look ahead, forward motion. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Major Music Lounge podcast. Joined by homie straight out of the flats 337, Code Red. What's good, my brother?
What's good with you, man?
Man, this is kind of our second time doing this actually, and we've been having some technical difficulties. So, hopefully we can get it rolling. But glad to be here, man. Glad to be here, and glad to also have you on. I know it's been a long time, us crossing Facebook, and then knowing you as long as I have as well. Definitely a pleasure to have you on. So.
Oh, I appreciate you, man, for reaching out, man. I mean, I'm definitely excited to be doing this, and being that it's you, it just make it all that much better,
Yeah, man, I truly appreciate that, man. So, kind of to start off, man, tell us a little bit about like how long have you been creating music and who are some of your influences? I know because, from our city, for example, we have a lot of, people back in the day that came up. It might be some of them, but Vicious for one.
Of course.
And then a lot of people from Lafayette are also heavily influenced by like a lot of that H-Town sound. So I'm kind of interested to hear, who are some of your influences.
Man, I've been doing music a long time, and like I was saying, it actually changed a little bit when I realized I had a talent for it as well. Like I used to listen to the, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Zero, of course, Vicious from from our hometown and all that, man. A couple of other cats, Mr. Fat, when they was doing the LOC thing, a long time ago. So they kind of paved the way for us, that came behind them, So, it been years. I want to say when I was 15, 16, started listening to all that good stuff. And then it kind of changed from me, going into like my senior year in high school when I started doing it myself. So it was like, okay, 03, it kind of changed, it was like, man, okay, I could do this myself instead of just listening to it. Let me give my own perspective to music and how I see it, through my eyes,
Yeah, man. Yeah. And, I think a lot of that gets lost in translation. Like you talk about getting your music or getting involved around 03, and around that time it was still rather, I would say, harder than to record now. Like now you can pretty much get your home studio up and running. So that's pretty impressive in itself right there. That's actually kind of the time I would say I was thinking about it. I didn't really start to hit the mic until probably about 08, 09-ish, but I was making beats around that time for sure. And the next question I got for you is, I listened to the Red Tape, and there were some tracks that stood out to me. Getting to the Money, Music to Ride to. I thought really the whole album, was fire. Congrats to you on that, by the
Appreciate
way,
that.
as well. No problem.
Appreciate you.
But what were your thoughts and, kind of the inspiration behind creating that album?
So I just wanted to kind of give, I guess, a body of work that was totally me. It wasn't emulating or imitating anybody else. This was me. And truth be told on this, man, like it was only 2 songs I actually wrote on that tape. Everything else was freestyle.
Wow.
So it was just I always kind of looked at how Lil Wayne recorded in the studio, and I was like, well, I want to get so good to where I don't have to write no more. I'm gonna just put the beat on and just stop and go to verse. Cause I watched him do it in the interview on YouTube one time, and I was like, bro, I could do that. And when I started doing it, it was like, okay, this sound a little bit better or more organic because you're not reading off of paper. This is just straight, right now. Like it's in the moment. You're not like trying to recite anything. It's just coming straight off your head into the microphone. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it to me, it made it easier to record in the amount of time that you had studio time for, instead of getting a piece of paper or memorizing the lyrics, but you're still looking off the paper, looking up at the mic. You know, it felt more natural to me just to do that. My eyes on that, the red tape is one of the songs that I actually wrote because of how deep I felt like the song was. It was like, well, I'm not gonna go in and freestyle this. This is something that actually means something. You know, it could go somewhere. You know, so let me sit down and actually take my time and write the song. And I wrote that song actually in a day, man. Cause
Yeah.
when I heard the track, Scoop was on it. A partner of mine, he was like, "Bro, I want you. I hear you on this song. I want you on it." So he kind of inspired me to go ahead and sit down and write the verse because of what the song meant to me. You
Yeah.
know. So it was
Yeah,
like
man.
that was one of the tracks that I actually wrote.
That's amazing because you like you alluded to, you hear a lot of stories about like Lil Wayne. Even I heard like Wale actually talking about a time when he did this with Currency, with that what it looked like song, and he talked about how
Right.
he he would record maybe a couple of bars and then he would listen to those bars and then he would just continue to build the
Yep.
song until he had his 16. And that's also kind of what you said was that's the importance to me of like even like for people who may go down and write in the moment as well, but the vibe is different, when you're doing it in a moment versus I always say this
Definitely.
about some guys, and you record how you record, but some people we used to do this back in the day before we'd go to the studio. We would, of course, so we wouldn't waste no time, we'd write our songs before, go to the studio, record it, they mix it down, whatever the case may be. But now, having a lab right here, we can do things like, be able to freestyle the whole song in a moment, or even just write in a moment. So I think, with doing things in a moment, the energy is just so different versus just writing something
It
down on a
feel
piece
better
of
to
paper.
me.
Yeah, yeah, it feels more authentic.
Yeah, I
It
just
feels
feel
more
like it feel more real because it's like you're not gonna ever get back in the same mood that you was in yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And how you feel to the song right now is in the moment. So you want to capture that moment instead of going back and coming back tomorrow and, oh, I got a verse now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
now don't get me wrong, some people can't do that. You know, some people have to write their verse before and it might feel better and more comfortable to them. I just found that I kind of learned the secret sauce to creating in the moment, and I could actually get it done quicker than if I sat down and write the verse at this point, you know?
yeah, and you could kind of hear it too in some way. I mean, maybe not every time, but like I know, like when I can tell the difference whenever I just let something flow and I'm in a moment versus, if I have to come back around and re-record it, it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel right for some reason.
Right.
Yeah, man. Uh,
Yep.
so kind of with talking about the red tape, what you got on deck as far as future. Is there any like new projects that you're working on?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got some heat coming, man. I actually got a couple of major features. I'm not gonna speak too much on that. Some people that you probably wouldn't even guess that I would even been able to get on the song. But I got cause see on the red tape, Trina did a drop for me on that red tape because she heard the tape and she was like, "Nah, let me do a drop on that." And I actually got, DJ Chill hosted it.
DJ
And
Chill,
at
yeah.
first I didn't think that Chill would have gave me like a quick turnaround, but he heard it and he called me after he heard the whole tape and he was like, "Oh, I gotta put my hands on this." And I was like, "Man, do your thing, do whatever you feel like necessary to this tape to, make it go where it need to go." And I mean, not even a week later, he was coming back. He met me in the parking lot to Bros Mart with the tape, man.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
so and it was that's there you have it, you know.
Man, and I did want to like ask about that. You kind of talked about that, but for our listeners maybe that aren't from the city, DJ Chill is kind of like one of the more respected DJs in the city. Has been doing this shit since shit probably when
30
high
years,
school. Yeah, 30
right
years or
before we
so.
even got in the game, right?
Used to hear him on 95.5 way back in the day. Just announcing his parties on the weekends and things like that. And then, I mean, Trina, that speaks for itself right there. If you are at least in, your mid to late 30s and beyond, you know about Trina and, working with Slip and Slide Records and Trick Daddy, kind of late
Right.
2000s, early 2000s, late 90s. But, what was that whole experience like? I know, like, because I I haven't had the chance to get anybody, I would say, of that stature on any of the projects that I've done, but like that's one of the things, because I'm planning out a couple of projects. I got to get you on, by the way, at some
Oh yeah,
point.
you got it. You got it, bro. Whatever you
Yeah,
need, you
man.
got it. You got it.
But like, what was that whole experience like working with both DJ Chill and Trina?
So at first, I didn't think Chill was going to jump on it. Like when I gave him the call, I was expecting to get, pushed to the side, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, take care of it. But like that's a down to earth guy, man. And it wasn't even really about the money situation, because I mean, I think what he charged me probably wasn't even enough, man. I'm pretty sure he charged people way more than what he charged me, But I think he was just showing love to, to up and comer, and he heard the tape, and he, genuinely liked it. So it was like, okay, let me hurry up and get this done for him. And I mean, when I say every conversation was, real, and he really kind of gave me some pointers in the game, like, bro, you got a good sound, you need to do this, you need to do this, he kind of gave me the game, like, you need to take this somewhere else, and don't just, go start, doing shows at these little local bars and become just a club head every weekend, you know what I'm saying, to where you get lost in the sauce. So I was kind of taking that quote unquote J. Cole approach to it. That's why I haven't really dropped anything yet since then, because I'm kind of procrastinating and trying to perfect the next tape, so it's not like I'm just dropping something else just to give it. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So like, you don't want to just keep putting out content that means nothing just to put out content. It's not about putting out I want the next tape to be better than the first tape, or to resonate and be like, well, okay, he didn't just give us something else just to give it out. I gave something that was meaningful, to the culture.
Yeah, yeah. And I think especially now in this era of a lot of people being able to easily record, that also gets, you talk about getting lost in the sauce earlier, but like, it also gets lost because I think a lot of people put out projects to put out projects, but there's
Yeah,
no,
a lot. That's what I hear, man.
yeah, there's no, I think, and, it's a fine line because I do think in some cases with the way some artists put out EPs and things like that's because that's kind of what I do. I put out more short projects, about 5 to 7 tracks. I
But you
don't think
see,
I've
yours
done.
mean more that way. I think what I take from your music, I like hearing it like that, because you're not just putting out music to put out music. Like I'm excited when I see that post come up, like, oh, let me go hurry up and jam that. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what he doing now. Let me see what he got. It just mean more because I know you're taking your time with your craft, and you giving somebody something good to listen to. It's not just another song.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, and
And props on the last video, bro. Like I just saw that video a couple of days ago. I watched it like 2 or 3 times back to back, man. I like the visuals, the lyrics, everything you came with it on that song, man.
I appreciate you,
So
fam.
you did the thing.
Yeah, man. That's the one thing I just try to do is, because it's a perfect balance, and even like in between putting out projects as an artist, I might put out an instrumental project in between. So that kind of still, giving me some exposure as a producer and, keeping the brand fresh. But, you're absolutely correct as well. Like a lot of guys need to start focusing on the quality of their projects because they're
Quality.
they're just they're going off of quantity and not everything, is you might have some lackluster projects. You might put out 5 projects and 2 of those projects really fire. And the other 3, you probably
Exactly.
could have took some tracks off of each one of those and created another album that might have been better. So
Right.
yeah, man.
Or it's not even cohesive. You got 12, 13 songs on one CD, on one album or whatever, and they don't even go together. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
just some
yeah.
songs that you just
What
put together, you know?
there's no concept. There's no concept. There's no direction for
Right,
the project, man. Um, and
right.
with the new music that you're working on, do you have any like shows or visuals planned as well, like videos?
So look, I gotta try to catch up with Jimmy Z again, but right now he doing that
Shout out to
Prime
Jimmy
thing,
Z.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. Coach
So
Prime.
that's my guy right there. He actually did my Getting to the Money video.
I remember that.
Jimmy Z was the person that did that.
Yeah,
So that's kind of like who I'm trying to go back to instead of just spend money with all random people. I'm trying to keep it in the family, if that makes sense. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Jimmy
So whenever I could try to catch up with him, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Jimmy Z out here, man, with me. He out here in Dallas with me, man. I see him every once in a while. I remember we watched the Saints game a while back, but like, he's so much in and out of town. I rarely see him around. We do kick it sometimes though. But he did a video for me like 12 years ago. Step Your Game Up.
Okay.
I did that with one of my homies. Shout out to Rest in Peace 3D. But I did that with one of my homies. And it's also a great thing to see Jimmy Z because that's been my dog. Like shit, we were roommates way back in the day, like after we got out of high school.
Got it.
We hung out all that time and just to see him now, you mentioned working with Coach Prime and and work with all these other major networks. So, definitely would like to catch up with him and get some videos done myself, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who are some of the artists or you could also say producers as well that you would like to work with that you haven't had the chance to work with yet?
Well, I'm talking to one right now.
All
You know what I'm
right.
saying? I need to do something with you because I hear the beats that you putting out, and it's like, man, I need to get on one of them. You know what I'm saying? That good, coasting music, that something to ride, music to ride to in general. It's just something that you ride. You ride to that music, man. It's not something that you want to be jumping up and down in the club to, but that's not really my scene. Like I'm not one of them Travis Scott kind of cats or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't yearn for that. I want my shit to be played. I want my music to be played in general, like in the car or, a kickback or something like I want you to want to recite the lyrics, you know what I'm saying, to my music. So I definitely want to work with Zaytoven. He put out some good music, man, some good beats, of course, and a couple of other cats. I mean, Mike Will, of course. Everybody want to do a little something, but I'm not all for the turn up music, so I need something that kind of fit my style or my genre of music.
Yeah, man, we definitely gonna get some work in soon. I'm gonna, get some tracks. In fact, to send, I gotta get your email and everything once we get off the air. But yeah, I'm gonna get you a pack sent, and whatever you pick out of that, cool with me, man. We'll work something out, but
Yeah,
definitely been
definitely.
wanting to work with you as well, man. So
Appreciate it. Yeah, we got to do it, man.
yeah, man.
Got to
What
get it
kind of
done.
uh what kind of shout outs you have?
Oh man, I got all kind of shot. So look, to the team, affirmative action. That's Dante Harris and a couple other cats, from the team that I kind of got on my end. Of course, a shout out to you and just everybody that rock with me in general, just so I don't forget nobody, because this could go on for 10, 20 minutes, if we do that. But everybody that rock with me, shout out to them. And I mean, I'm hoping to get, of course, some new listeners, that's always good. But, you got to do it for yourself first. And then everybody else that kind of collectively gravitate to you, that's who you take with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it ain't easy, man. And You
And
pick
that's
out.
one of my, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's one of my things. I really don't push the whole social media thing. That's not me. I'm not gonna be in front of that camera every day posting what I eat for lunch and what I eat for dinner and stuff. That's not me. I'm not the flashy kid. You don't really see me with no jewelry on. I might, of course, have my shades on, but that's because my future bright. But other than that, dog, I mean, I got jewelry, but I mean, I'm not rocking it to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to impress people
Yeah,
while I buy a people towel. You know what I'm saying? It's not
yeah, man,
about
and
that.
that's what's wrong with the game is like a lot of people. Like I mean, we use Facebook for example. I might post about sports. Other than that, it's content related to what I do. But
Right.
a lot of people caught up with whatever they buy, wherever they at, things like that, and you
Yeah,
can't
man.
always be doing that type of it. I always say that if you're going to use it to help build your brand and benefit. It don't even have to be music. You can be a fitness instructor. Whatever
Right,
you're
right.
trying to do, that's what you're posting about. So, I totally agree with you on that, man. And yeah, where can I mean kind of ironic I'm about to ask this question, given we just said that. But where can our listeners actually, follow you online and as well as find some of your music.
All right. So my music is on all platforms. If you type in Code Red, the Red Tape, you could type that in Google and whatever you listen to, whether it's Pandora, um, I don't know, Google Music, Apple Play, whatever you listen to, whatever you listen to music through, you could find my music there. It's everywhere. It's on all platforms. And as far as like Instagram is OG Code Red. Same thing for Twitter. And for of course the people that follow me on Facebook is my name, Brian LeBlanc. I mean, we're already friends. You're gonna catch me there.
And yeah, and before we go, man, I want to shout out, Ryan, shout out your brother Ryan,
Of course,
Chef
of
Ryan.
course.
If you in
Sure.
the
Hey, bro, that dude's
Lafayette,
doing his thing, man.
yeah, yeah, I gotta look him up next time. He's still in Lafayette, huh?
No, he actually moved to Lake Charles, man.
Lake Charles,
So
okay.
he's in Lake Charles doing his chef thing right now. I'm telling you, bro, them plates look so good. It's like he trying to grab it through the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man,
man, let me get one.
yeah, man. That's good to see as well, and it's a little inside joke, but if he watches this, he gonna know what I'm talking about. But back
Right.
in the day, uh, they used to have, how can I put this? They used to have a saying he used to say, we got from our homie Greg Jones. Here comes the big guy. He gonna know exactly what I'm talking about if he watching this video. But it's an inside joke, and we used to always see each other and kind of yell that shit out, and people would just start laughing. But shout out to Ryan, man. God bless him.
Definitely.
Definitely, if you need catering, look up Chef
Oh
Ryan
yeah.
LeBlanc and get him to work your next function, your next event, whatever that may be. But definitely check him out. And you can follow
Yep.
me on Instagram at d._major music. Same thing on Threads, on X, d.mme. And then, of course, we got the Facebook page, just d.major music. Post a lot of the clips from the podcast as well as other content on there, whether it's music production or from some of the projects. And also watch the video to Forward Motion, which is now available on YouTube, also on this channel as well. And again, appreciate Code Red for stopping by, and definitely my brother. Best of luck
Appreciate
with the
you,
new
man.
project, and feel free once you drop
Sir.
to reach out, and we can chop it up about the
Oh yeah,
project as
definitely.
well. Yes, sir.
Definitely, man.
Yes,
I got
sir.
some stuff coming, man. It's coming.
Yes, sir. And like I said, I'm gonna connect with you
Appreciate you, man.
also. Yeah, yeah, about the email so I could send you some tracks.
Cool.
This has been
You got
another
it, man.
edition of the Major Music Lounge podcast, D. Dot and Code Red, and we are out.
Hey, cruise control turned on as I'm coasting. Never speak on it, put the plan in forward motion. Make adjustments on the fly, you would think I'm coaching. Stick to the plan, look ahead, forward motion. Cruise control turned on as I'm coasting. Never speak on it, put the plan in forward motion. Make adjustments on the fly, you would think I'm coaching. Stick to the plan, look ahead, forward motion. Duck and dodge bullshit, scrambling like a Randall. Audio graffiti through your speakers just like a vandal. Financial and family be the motivation. Can't work with that if you're attitude complacent. I make statements, results is the conversation. So let time pass you by, that's procrastination. About elevation, be better than your last day. Let's start on your dreams, time moving in a fast way. Flicking ass, exhale stress, smoke fills the air. Can't get credit for my grind unless she was there. She really care, held me down through my bad times. Traveling with my lady love, I tap a bond. Talk to God, he talk back, gotta see the signs. Focus on the